What's up, YouTube? It's time for some more Run 8. We're going to be, at least I'm going to try to finish up our trip on the A768 to Waycross. You remember it's the turn up to basically Jessup. We go to Doctortown. Actually, I think this limits are a little bit north of there at Allenhurst or whatever that place is called there at the base, the big army base. But either way, we went to Rainier and turned yesterday. We're down Jessup or West Jessup roughly, and yeah, we're going to continue this trip real fast, try to get down to Waycross. We don't have a lot of work to do today, just a little bit. Let's get everything knocked off and release. Let's blast off out of here as fast as we can, so we can get this trip going. We've got a little territory to cover today. Our only other customer that we got to work today is Ace Pole. Is just outside of Homestead. Let's look and see. I gotta give us a light anyway. Let's see where we get our light. Right here. Right there. We don't have any meeting traffic. We're just going with it. We're just hauling booty down here as fast as we can. Where's the rest of it? Here we go. No, that's Bolin. Offerman. Here we go. Homestead, yeah. It's just a little bit south of Homestead is where we got to go. All right, let's haul butt. Let's get out of here, guys. We're going to try to finish this trip. I don't know if we're going to be able to, because once again, Spur's kind of limited on time today. I only get like little brief windows in the morning that I can kind of do this. If I can get 2 hours where I can get this done, then I'm doing pretty good. But we're going to see. You remember last video, we had a derailment. First derailment on video ever. Yes, Spur derailed. I don't know how it happened, to be honest. We put one set of trucks on the ground going through Jessup. It was the wildest thing ever. It just happened. It just happened like that. I don't know what happened, but either way we did. We didn't have to call Hulcher though. We just got re-railing frogs and put them back on. No problem. CSX A768 23 got clear West Jessup. 8974 south out. Which I'm not complaining. I love having something thrown at you like that, like every once in a while, not like all the time, right? If you run good, it should never be a problem. And I don't know what I did to cause that. I mean, I did kind of come out of the throttle a little aggressively, like 4 notches, but we're like 2,700 feet, 2,700 tons. Like that shouldn't have been a thing. Like that really shouldn't have been a thing. I don't know why that car came off the tracks. This is the weirdest thing. Air went down and everything, so only second derailment I've ever had playing this game. I had another derailment a long time ago. I can't remember what happened with that, but I think I had a slack run in or something like that I did. I messed something up and caused it to happen. We put a car or two on the ground, but it does happen in game. If you're running on the right settings, it will happen. We're running on what are we doing? Where's it at? We got string line derailments, switch derailments, tip over derailments, realistic train handling, realistic independent braking, cold weather, air brake effects, allow slippery rail, allow brake valve defects. So we do all the things. All right, so we're 50-mile-an-hour train. It's a 60-mile-an-hour railroad, but we're 50-mile-an-hour train. See if we can get out here and make sure the webcam's doing okay. The webcam's still giving me problems. I don't know. It keeps going back to auto. I keep telling it every day. Not auto exposure. No auto exposure, please. Do not auto expose. And the next day, the next time I start things up, the camera's like, nah, we're going to auto expose today. I don't know why. It has a mind of its own. It's the Logitech Brio. It's a nice camera. It's a really good camera. It's a huge upgrade for me. Because I want to try to put money back into the channel when I can, right? Apart from like games and stuff like that. So I don't know why it keeps going to auto focus and auto exposure, and I'm like, I don't want that, please. I'm going through this big sag here, big old sag. You kind of see it. Where it picks back up. It picks back up over that knot up there ahead of us. Should run a little fast on us, but I'm not sweating that. I'll say it plenty of times. I'm not sweating that. What's our grade doing here? So it's about leveling out. We're about at the bottom of it here. We're like 3 over. 3 isn't a big deal. Like I said, I worked with a few engineers that always ran a few mile an hour over, but this was 20 something years ago too. I'm gonna start pulling out of this sag just a little bit here. It's a little train. It's a little train, light tonnage. Like in game, you could get like fairly rough with her and you don't have to worry about it. At least I don't. But yeah, we work ace pole. We've got 6 to pull down there and 2 to set out. Evidently, someone hadn't been picking up down there for a few days because to have 6 cars, like it's a daily local, they got 6 cars ready to go. You know, in the last video, I talked about locals, like I never really had a long local. I probably need to clarify that a little better. Like a long traditional local. To me, like in my mind, you've got 2 different types of locals. You got like a traditional local that they just purely go out and work industries. And then you have feeder trains that kind of like they go out and provide cars for other locals or stuff like that. Like they're delivering cars for other things other than just working in. They may work in industry too, right? They may work in industry too. I kind of consider this train a feeder train. And the reason why I say that is Rainier is like the sole purpose of this local. And its company switched. They got their own switch engines. So basically you just take them the cars and pick up what they gather and then let them take care of it. So it's kind of a feeder train in a sense. Ooh, this is a big old sag right here. TSX A768's got a clear 553.1. 8974 south out. Yeah, so as far as feeder locals, I have had some that was pretty big. I think probably the largest one that I ever had was 110 cars. I absolutely remember this train. I remember that night like it was yesterday. Basically what we did on this local was that we provided cars to a short line. We picked up and set out from them. They would bring the cars up and then we'd grab them and go and leave them cars. And then we provided cars for a local, one of our company locals, and then we switched 2 industries on top of that. With the 2 industries we switched were once in a blue moon. I think I only did each of them 1 time and all the times I caught that job. So the feeder train, like we had, zero to DD first.
Detector, milepost 553.0, no defects.
Okay, we're good. No defects. 768. So, the way this local worked was the outbound crew would get on it and they would take it to the end of the line, to the short line, and they'd make their setouts. And then they would tie down and another crew would go on duty that evening and take it back north and do the pickups and stuff. So what they would do is they would get on this train and they basically wouldn't do the pickups from our company local. They would just get on the train that was already attached to the outbound cut for the short line and they would just go. And they would do that like 3 or 4 days, 3 or 4 nights a week. And then at the end of the week, they would mark off sick. And then they let the extra board guy clean up all the cars that had been left behind all over the place, right? And so I was the lucky guy on this, like I guess it was a Saturday night or Friday night. I can't remember what that job worked, but CSX A768's got a clear intermediate 555.1, the United 74 south out. So I was a lucky guy. I called dispatcher up and he's like, I got cars everywhere for you to pick up. Got cars at A, B, and C. Like, they were all over the place because no one had been picking up for that week. I said, okay, so I was practically brand new. I didn't know anything about Jack and still didn't when I left, but I figured out all the tonnage, the cars, and figured out the tonnage. We had a GP38-2, we had a GP42, and we had a Roadmate, which is a slug, basically. It was a GP30 slug. And I figured out we had just barely enough to pull all that tonnage, and So we gathered it all up and we left out with 110 cars on this local. It was assembled as a local, and we did it. We barely made it over the railroad, like a few mile an hour in some spots, but we did it. It's a good thing we had a bunch of EMDs on it, because I don't think GEs would have done that. I don't think the B30s and the B36s sure as hell wouldn't have pulled that. Like they would have been slipping all over the place. But yeah, we did it. We got in. So that was a pretty big local, but that was kind of a special local too. It wasn't like your typical local, right? I keep forgetting this thing has 4 HPT. Like, she'll go pretty good. I really wish I left one engine off. I think 2 would have been plenty for this. 2 would have been plenty for this little short bowling ball. Yeah, so there's different locals, right? I don't know how it works on other railroads, but that's how we had a few trains that were basically like feeder locals that went out and supplied cars to other locals or other things. Oh, it's going down right here. I thought we were going back up, but I guess we're going down, so it looks like it's going up. A little bit there. So you could, my point, you know, you could have like trains, locals that are bigger locals, but like a straight up like traditional local, I didn't have many that were like really huge. Got this little private crossing here. Probably not much going on here. We're going to say we don't have recorders on our train back in 2002, so then no one's going to know. Unless they heard it, no one's going to know. This A768 23's got a clear distance, Scriven. A974 south out. I don't know if it's Scriven or Scriven. I should look that up sometime. I really don't know much about this route. I don't even know much about the history of it or really anything at all about this route. It's a fun route. It's kind of an outlier on Run 8. You don't see a lot of people doing stuff on this route. It's not like, at least back then, it wasn't a crazy diverse route. It was basically a way for trains to come off the A line to get the way across as far as the yard. Everything else pretty much bypassed and went down between Jessup and Folkestone, you know? So if the train wasn't going to actual Waycross, it didn't go this way. Now later on that changed. They had intermodals and stuff that went this way, but before that, it was just freight. Just slot freight moved through here. No unit trains. No intermodals, no auto racks, like none of that stuff. Either way, it's a fun route. It's a crazy amount of up and down. It's got some really extreme hogbacks, especially for like a short train like this. A really long train would be good because it kind of balanced itself out over multiple grades at one time, so it kind of averaged itself. We got on the other end down here. We got a clear CSX A768's got a clear by Scriven. 8974 south out. Yeah, so far it's been a good job. I've enjoyed it. It hasn't been bad at all. Like, at least for what we've done, I think it's been pretty reasonable. So we got to go by Offerman and then Homestead, and then we got to work Ace Pole, and then we got to go down to Waycross and try to back in the yard before we're done with this. So it may be another longer video. Like I said, it's just you can't do short videos in Run 8 unless you just cut it like crazy, you know, edit it like no tomorrow and just do highlights. But it's really, really hard to get anything done in Run 8 in like a short amount of time. Like, you can't even trim the yard in 20 minutes. You know, like, seriously. You can't even trim the yard in 20 minutes. All right, got a 50 mile an hour right there, but it won't affect us because we're a 50 mile an hour train. Looks like that's a city ordinance here for Scriven. not sure how the city ordinances work. Like I know they have to pass them, right? Like they have to pass ordinance. I guess through their council, the government, the local government has to pass the ordinance. And then I guess they hand it down to the railroad, and I'm assuming like the railroad doesn't even have any say, like because it's a local ordinance, like they have to abide by it. But I'm not sure exactly how that works. It'd be interesting to see, like, if the city can just say anything and the railroad has to abide by it, or if it has to be within reason. Like, I'm sure they couldn't be like, yeah, we want a 10-mile-an-hour ordinance through town here, you know, during the day. I'm sure the railroad would probably take that to court and say it's unreasonable, you know. But like quiet zones would be a big one. You see cities passing that from time to time. Quiet zones, you know, sometimes it's 24/7, you know, sometimes it's just at night. Oh, I know someone had left a comment about how trains blow their horn late at night through a town that their family lives in. You know, I look at it this way. You know, we live in such a litigious society now. I guess that's the word, right? Everyone's wanting to file lawsuits all the time over anything and try to get a paycheck. So I kind of understand, as you know, if you're an engineer, like, you know, I would wail on the horn. I really just would. I would, you know, unless it's a quiet zone that relieves you of that, then it takes me back to a story an old head told me. I like this guy a lot. He was a dang good engineer. He'd been doing it for like 30 years. Right at 30 years, probably 28 years, 30. He was close to retirement when I worked. And he told me a story about they hit a guy outside of Atlanta one time. He said gates came down, everything was working, he's blowing the horn, and dude just went right around the gates in front of him and got smacked. And he said they hit his car, and it didn't just stick on the front of the train, it rolled it. This is in 82, so cars really, they built solid back then, right? Like, there wasn't much crunching. And he said, so the car just rolled it, like they just rolled and rolled and rolled in front of the engine. And he said they finally got to a stop. They were moving pretty good too when they hit this dude. He said they got off the engine, the car was in front, just all rolled up into just a wadded piece of metal, you know. And he said there was no one in it. No one in the car. He said they were shocked, and they were like, what happened to the person? Like, there's no one in this car that they just hit. Where did they go? They thought they were under the train. They didn't know. And so they start looking around, and they hear someone crying out from the woods. They look at some bushes and the dude's in there, and he said he'd never seen so many 90-degree angles in someone's arms and legs. Like, he was so busted up bad. And so they got an ambulance, and you know, everything was taken care of. Dude lived. He lived. What they think happened was that they hit, and CSX A768 23's got cleared immediate 563.1 8974 south out. So they think they hit him, and just rolling the car in front of the engine. And he went out through a window, and they want to say that I want to say he told me that somehow he went under the engine and then came back out. Like, I don't, it was wild. But either way, he wound up in the bushes beside the tracks outside of the car. And so anyway, things move on, and the next thing you know, he gets a court summons. This is the engineer, gets a summons to court. Like I said, this is in like 82, 81, 82, very early 80s. He gets the court summons. He shows up to court. Railroad doesn't even send a lawyer. They send an agent somehow. I don't know how they did that. I don't know how the agent, like, I guess they could represent the railroad. I don't know. But he said they didn't have a lawyer. They had an agent. And the engineer was like, don't you think we need like a lawyer or whatever? And the agent's like, no, we're good. I got this. So he said the judge was like 80 years old. And He said they're sitting there waiting, and next thing you know, the courtroom doors open. He says like something straight out of a movie. The guy, like the lawyer's wheeling the dude in, and he's got on like darn near a full body cast. He's got his like arms out, like it was bad. And the judge basically asked him, said, why'd you go in front of the train? He said lights and crossing arms didn't work. No lights, no gates, no nothing. It was a flat out lie. And then railroad called witnesses, all the train crew, because they had engineer, fireman, brakeman on the head end, some local people there too, because this was in the city, you know, so there's people around. So no, everyone said the gates and lights were working. Judge immediately threw it out. Threw the case out. Dude didn't get a dime. Nothing for medical bills. Like, he got nothing, because the judge, like, if you're dumb enough to go around the gates in front of a train and get yourself hit, then that's on you, right? And I think that's a pretty reasonable take. You know, he took that risk, he gambled, and he lost. But I've always thought about that story and like thinking the current day, that dude would have come away with a lot of money. If that case had been now, one, it probably would have never gone to court. The railroad absolutely would have settled. They would have given him something just to avoid litigation, right? Like, they just would avoid going to court altogether and just pay him something. But yeah, that dude, if it had been current day, he would have got something out of that, beyond a shadow of a doubt. So yeah, times have kind of changed. So I understand, like, you know, you gotta blow the horn. You gotta do it. You know, in game, it's a game. We don't do it correct all the time. And, you know, from what I remember back in the day, it wasn't done like 100% all the time. If it was a major crossing, then you did. If not, if it was a farm road, then you didn't. But and now they can tell. Like, they can tell you if you blow the horn or whatever, you know. Because I had another engineer told me that, like, to always blow well through the crossing. Like, sometimes you'll see this, right? You'll see this right here. And they stop before they get through the crossing. The horn was blown, right? It was ample warning for whatever the FRA says, but I don't know if they actually specify that you have to blow through the crossing, but you always said blow all the way through the crossing. CSX A768 23 has got to clear North Offerman, 8974 South out. Yeah, he said always blow completely through the crossing and then some. And he did. That dude always did. Like he would do like this. He would be like that all the way through until a little bit on the other side. Clear it, I guess, to make sure that your butt's covered, right? Dude, we got way slow. We need to give her a little oomph here. For private crossing here is not even marked. Man, I wish we had quillable horns. That would be so nice in game. All right, now she's picking back up. We got another big sag right here through Offerman. We're talking about that guy's story. It's one of the few things that I came away with from my like brief limited experience with the railroad is that I never hit anyone, never hurt anyone, never had anything like that bad happen, even though I knew a ton of guys that had some really like horrible life-changing, like what I would consider life-changing experiences. You know, I couldn't even, like, ooh, we were getting way fast because Spur's sitting there running his mouth and not paying attention. Really bad, like, experiences that I couldn't even imagine. I really just couldn't even imagine going through something like that. All right, let's rein her back in. There's a pretty good grade going into Offerman back there, and then it drops off really good. Go ahead and let go of it. Yeah, very, very fortunate. I never had to experience anything like that. I've heard of some horrible, horrible experiences that just... I couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine dealing with that. All right, let's carry over. We're through Offerman, coming up to Homestead. Yeah, we're covering some pretty good distance, so we should be able to work Ace Pole and get down to Waycross pretty quick. Crossing here. Sometimes those whistle posts kind of blend in with that white ballast, like you can't. But yeah, I never forget him telling me about that dude wheeling in the courtroom in like almost a full body cast. Like it sounds like something straight up out of a movie. A few crossings here, whatever little location this is we're passing through. Not too extreme as far as the grades up there, a little up and down, but not too bad. Yeah, I'm still puzzled on my derailment yesterday. I don't know what happened with that. I'm at a loss. It doesn't happen a lot. Like I said, that's only the second one I've ever had. And as long as they've had that, you know, that option in game. That's something honestly I don't even think about. Now, like we didn't even have enough train behind us to have like a huge slack run in, and I definitely don't remember seeing anything on the speedometer. Like if you have a big slack run in, like you can see it on the speedometer, but I don't even remember seeing anything. Like it was just as smooth and like neutral as it could be. At least that's what I like to call a train neutral. Like we're just kind of coasting along, light power, like not much is going on, and then the next thing you know, the air goes down. I'm just glad it wasn't a snapshot. That would have sucked. Really, we're such a small train. If we had a snapshot, we would have been able to figure that out. We go back like halfway. Just stop the train somewhere, tie it down, go back halfway, like tie it down the side and go back halfway in the train. Cut the air out. Have the engineer actuate the big brake. And if it shoots, if it dumps, then you know that your snapshot is somewhere within that first half of the train, and you just keep halving it up like that, you know, until you find it. At least that's what I was told. I've had snapshots before, and I never looked. Like we just dealt with them. We just dealt with them. We never looked for them. Like I remember one train we had snapshot in, and we did nothing but dynamic, and it was really kind of dicey just doing the dynamic the whole way. And we were running pretty good. I had a young engineer that time. He wasn't too terribly experienced. Neither one of us were. It was like the blind leading the blind, right? But we're running along, and somehow we figured out we had a dynamiter in it, a snapshot, whatever you want to call it. And so we're like, okay, well, we can't do that again. And so at some point, the dispatcher calls us up, and she was like, yeah, can you get to whatever siding it was to meet the Q121, which is the hottest of hot? We said, yeah, absolutely, we can get down there in no time. Well, we had this big grade to come down into a 25, so what was the railroad speed through there? It's like 40 or 45 maybe, and then it dropped down this 1% grade, and then kind of leveled out into a 25. A768 23's got clear Patterson, 8974 south out. So we're coming down in, you know, this 1% grade and having to slow down for this 25. And I remember my engineer, we just kind of looked at each other and we're like, Dynamics is not doing it. It's not like we're going to have to touch air. Like he's got to, like, there's nothing we can do. He's got to get some air, or we're never going to slow down for this 25. And, you know, like we were barely keeping, like holding speed coming down to 1%. And so he touched the air and it shot right in the middle of town. And we stopped, and I called up the dispatcher, and I was like, yes, this is 592. We're in emergency at, you know, this location. And she was so mad. She was pissed. She didn't get upset with us, but she's like, dang it, I knew it. Like, over the radio. She's like, I knew it. I should have held y'all at the last sighting. I knew it. Anytime I tried it, like, she just lost it. I was like, you know, I guess we could have told her we had a snapshot in the train, and, you know, maybe we shouldn't try that. But so 121 had to wait on us, and we had to pump our air back up. I didn't search for it. Like, we just went with it. We just went with it. I think she probably dumped on us at least one other time before our trip was over with. But yeah, they're fun. They're fun to have. I never sought out a snapshot, but we did have cars with stuck brakes that I had to cut out from time to time. That was definitely a thing. Not a big deal. Yeah, air problems are pretty, you saw that from time to time, probably more than anything else. I remember having another train.
Equipment defect detector, milepost 574.0.
We're climbing our main ruling grade. And we may have been doing all of 15, maybe 20, if even that much, but we're climbing our ruling grade. And we were on a wide cab. Maybe it was the AC40. It was some kind of locomotive that gave me a readout too of the brake pressure. Like, I had a computer screen on my side too, which back then wasn't that common on the conductor side. And so we're rolling along, and I look down, and our air pressure is like 80, 85 or something, and I'm watching it, and it's just slowly going down. And I remember I looked at my engineer. I was like, see if we're okay on this DD.
Milepost 574.0. No defects.
Good. All right. No defects.
166. End of transmission.
Look at that hogback. That's a good one. I asked my engineer, I was like, did you get some air? He's like, what? I said, did you grab some air? And he's like, no. And he looked down and he's like, oh. And it's just going, like, by now it's like 82. And we're slowing down. Like, we're already struggling going up this 1% grade, and it's just like someone set the brakes up, and it's still going down. He's like, yeah, something's wrong. And I was like, just go ahead and stop it, because that was kind of in a spot where we could get away with stopping if we needed to on this hill. And so I was like, go ahead and stop it, I'll walk it. There's something going on somewhere. Like, we got some kind of problem somewhere. Let's grab a little air for this bad boy too here, because this is a pretty good hog back here. There we go. So we stopped, and I want to say I walked back. Like, none of our bridges had walkways back then. None of them. Like, you walked till you got to a bridge, and then you either figured out a way to get across, or you just, like, that was it. So I walked back this bridge. I was like, I can't go any further because we got a bridge here. And I was like, why don't you just I was like, can you drag them? Can you drag them for me a little bit? Drag them off of this bridge? And he was like, yeah. And so he starts pulling on them, and he pulls them really slowly. He's pulling them by me, and this car goes by, and I could hear the air. I can hear it, and I want to say I can smell it too, because if you ever smelled that compressed air from a train, it smells like, gosh, I don't even know how to explain it. Like it's really stale, musty, kind of oily, like, I don't know, just got an odor to it. And I told him to stop, and he stopped, and I could hear it, and it turned out it was an air hose. I'm trying to think, how did this, it wasn't the air hoses that connected, it was because of the cushion draft gear, like there was another air hose on the back side, and like it had come unscrewed, like it was really, really loose in there. And the thing that sucked is my air hose wrench wouldn't fit that connection, like it wasn't even remotely close to fitting that. And so I had to tighten it by hand, like as tight as I could. And then we were okay. I think we made it the rest of the way, just tightening it up by hand. And then I told the other crew, the outbound crew, I was like, you got an air hose, it's so many cars deep, it's causing problems. I couldn't get a wrench on it, so y'all may see something with that later on, right? Like y'all may hear from that. This A768 got a clear black shear, A974 south out. But yeah, that was a weird night how that happened. It was an odd connection. It wasn't like the air hose itself. It was on an auto rack. I remember that. It was on an auto rack. Then you'll see air hoses bust, like they'll snag a crossing or something. Do a little bit of a horn show there. Another sag, 0.6 down, so they're pretty decent. This A768 23 has got clear distance in Homestead, 8974 south out. I'm almost certain I got dynamiters in game. I don't think I've ever had one. I've had one that had stuck brakes in game, but I don't think I've had a dynamiter. All right, so our place is going to be just on the other side of this crossing, or this siding here, right? Yeah, let's start slowing her up some. I'm really not 100% sure. I just know it's somewhere on the other side here. Where are we at? Number 4. TSX A768 23 has got clear by Homestead, 89, 74 south out. I keep wanting to call it 9023 for some reason. I don't know why it's got that stuck in my head. Yeah, I think it's right up here. On the other side of the signal down there. I don't have a map out, so I don't know. We're just going by the seat of our pants here. We'll see. 2 to set out, 6 to pick up. So we'll go in, grab those 6, come back over, grab the 2, set them over, and then get it all together and get out of there. Like on time. Yeah, we got time. We're good. Almost kind of, I'm kind of cheat on this a little bit here. We're gonna cheat because I don't want this place to sneak up on me. Where is it at? Oh, it's a little ways on by. All right, here it is. Here it is. Here it is. That's not. It's not too far away. That's a nice. This is a nice little area here. That's a nice area. It's a little bit on the other side. A little bit of a downhill here too. I'm good in the dynamics. Yeah, a little bit of a knot right here. We'll just kind of go with it. That's a cool view down through there. All the ups and downs. You see the big sag down there at the river. I can't remember what that river is called. I think that's down there at Bonnyman. So if you guys didn't notice, when we went up to Rainier, we got all the trailing point switches, the switch moves, and now that we're going back the other direction, get all the trailing point switch moves that way too. Alright, this place called Ace Pole. We're just gonna stop at the switch. Man, she's just not wanting to stop, is she? I've kind of noticed that about this train. I don't know if it's just because it's such a short train. That worked out. Look at there, curbside service. All right, let's see what we got. Yeah, we got to, we're hanging on to a few, quite a few cars, but we could have pulled them on by that switch if we wanted to. Make the cut about right here. Forgot we had all those, these, not wood racks, center beams. We'll pull them by a little bit. I have to go to the other menu so I can see what's going on with the train, what she's doing. They're independent just a little bit here. So I'm just holding right control and doing page up and page down. So you can see it's kind of going up, it's kind of coming down, just kind of lightly bumping the independent just a little bit. Nothing crazy. This is what I do in game. Good enough. All right, let's draw them down. Guy, close you, open. All right, let's take them ahead to the switch. Yeah, we got a good bit to pick up in there. That's a lot. That's a lot for an industry that could be potentially like worked every day. Unless they skip days to work it. All right, one more car, one. Half car, half. All right, that'll do right here, 768. You just gotta roll back on his a little bit there. Come on, hop up. There we go. Alright, 768 switches line into clear. Let's come on back about 3. Can't see around that curve there very well. All right, 768 looking good. Keep showing 4-2 crossing. Actually, let's make that 4-2 a stop. Because cars are out there on top of it. All right, 3 more 3, 768. 2 more cars too, 768. Supposed to be up a little hill right here. One more 768. All right, crossing's clear, looking good. Keep shoving, half car, 768. We know we don't have anything to worry about on this crossing. All right, that'll do right here, 768. Hop down. Let's make sure these are all laced and ready to go. They're not going to be, yeah. Doggone it. I really wish I could just grab these and shift F7 them, but it won't. It doesn't work that way. I wasn't thinking the other day. I tried that. I totally wasn't thinking. I just clicked on the other cut and said, "Oh, I'm just going to shift F7 before we couple these up." And then it dawned on me. I was like, I never had control of those. It was never ours to begin with. It'd be nice. Be nice if you could do that without like relinquishing what you got. That's all right. We'll walk them, make sure everything looks good. Bottom is open. Figured it would be. All right, we're good. Using train, they're all our wood racks. So these are empty, or not wood. I got wood racks on the mind for some reason today. Chip hoppers, not wood racks. Wood racks would be pulpwood cars. Probably a lot of you guys not familiar with those. All right, 768 in the clear. Let's come on back about a half car to a coupling. feet, 10 feet, 5, coming in fast. There we go. She was hot. Came in hot. Okay. Let's get her connected. That one's open. That charge up. Moving the rest away. Go and catch up right here. There we go. I didn't think it was going to let me catch up for a second. All right, 768. Let's take him ahead to the switch. In the clear. She's still charging up a little bit. As you say, I did open that up all the way. That's definitely, that's a sizable train. We may not back her in the yard. We may end it up here in a bit, and then we'll do one more video where we back her in the yard, because that's going to be a little bit of a process. Yeah, that's going to be a little bit of an involved process, because you got to make a shoving move into the yard, so it's not going to be anything quick. All right, hop down here. All right, 768, 6 more cars. Oh, it's trying to rain over there in front of us. Oh, I bet these have handbrakes on them. Yep, they do. That's why she's so draggy. I couldn't figure out why she was so draggy through there. I was like, that doesn't seem right. So we're up a little bit here. All right, 2 more cars too. More cars, 768. That'll do, 768. Get our switch. Come on, hop up. All right, switch is line in the clear. Let's shove back about 4 to a couple in 768. Actually, maybe more like 3. Between 3 and 4. Three more cars, 3. Two cars, 768. One more car. Half car. 20 feet. 10. 5 more. 3 feet. Let's bump it. That'll do. Make sure she won't roll on us here. All right, so we take these 2, set them over. Going about our business. Actually, let's go ahead and put a couple of handbrakes on these since we're going to add some pretty good grade down in there. And open it. All right, give me a shove. Give me a little slack. Oops. Go down here, grab this guy real fast. All right, up in the clear. Let's take him to the switch. About 3 cars. I think it's 3. I can't really tell. Here. This one down here. All right, 2 cars, 2. One more one. That'll do. Now, come on, throw. All right, let's catch up. reverse it. What do you see? Independent start shoving. All right, 768 switches line into clear. Let's show back about 3. I say we only show back as far as we can see. As we start being able to see more, then we can give him progressively more and more. He doesn't have to go the distance you give him. Like technically he's supposed to go to 3 and stop, right? If he don't hear anything else from me, he goes about what he thinks 3 cars and stops. But when he gets to 2 cars, I could give him 3 more. Like now I could give him 4 to a crossing, you know, come on back, 4 to a crossing. You can keep it moving, right? That's basically what you're trying to do. Give him a long car count, you know, give him 4, and then when he's at 3, give him 4 more, or whatever you can see at the time, you know. He's on back 2 more to a crossing, 768. So gotta protect the crossing, make sure it's okay. One more car, 1. All right, crossing's clear. 768 keeps shoving about 6 more to a spot. They can go to 6. We could give them more before we get to the 6. You know, at 4 cars, we could give them 6 more if we have it. You know, like... I don't know if anyone's ever, like, explained car counts like that in game. You know, I'm not really sure where this ends. I think it ends right there. Yeah, so we probably only got maybe 4 more to a spot if we shove it all the way to the bottom there. All right, 768, let's make it 1 more to a spot. We won't put them right on the bottom because there's no bumper or anything to catch it. We could. If it was a situation where I wanted him to spot it like right at the end of the track and there's nothing there to catch it, then you might could put a handbrake on this thing to give him a little something to shove against, you know? So it's not like rolling back and forth all over the place, you know? Give him a little handbrake. Yeah, this should be the default walking pace. I really do. I think this should be the default. 1 handbrake there. Close that guy. Now we're good. All right, 768 up and clear. Let's take him to the switch. Our tonnage is going to go up a little bit with this. Not like a crazy amount, but a little bit. Yeah, I think this would be a good spot to pick up with the last. We'll do 1 more video. We'll pick up with the last video and we'll back this thing into Waycross. Get her taken care of that way. Because like I said, getting into Waycross is going to be a little bit of a process. And really, I'd rather, like, I want to back her in the yard and cut the power off and take it to the house and get it serviced for the next trip and all that stuff. So, yeah, it would be a little bit. All right, let's make about 1 more car. 768. All right, that'll do right here, 768. All right, 768 switches line in clear. Let's come on back about 5-2 coupling. Three cars, 768. We won't do a stop. We'll swing down right before we do more too. One more car, one. And think of it like if you're being the engineer, think of it in terms like at one car, I want to be 4 or less, right? I want to be maybe 3 mile an hour at one car, you know, 5 cars, maybe 6, you know, kind of get like that in your head, how you want to do it. See, we're fighting with this grade right here. Half car, half. Man, it'd be cool if we had track RR in game. I would like that. I would dig it to be able to like look around and see everything that's going on easily. Hey, squatted on us there. 20 feet. 10 feet. That'll do right there, 768. All right, nice. Sound like it dumped the air. It's already dumped the air. I don't know, like, who dumped the air? He's got a brake pipe, and he already dumped. That was weird. It sounded like it dumped the air, right? Did it not? It sounded like... CFM isn't going up. What's up with that? Why is this one closed? I don't remember closing that. Did I close that? I don't remember closing that one. Why would I close that one? I could have swore it was this one. That was weird. That's really odd. I don't know what was up with that. Maybe I did. Maybe I accidentally closed it. Shouldn't, because we just had it bottled. It don't have any air in it though. I mean, it's pumping up now, but all right, see if I'm below 100. Just go ahead and open it up the rest of the way. What's our tonnage look like? 3.2 HPT. 18 loads, 23 empties, 3,045 feet, and 3,400 tons. Yeah, she's a little bowling ball, that's for sure. Let's go ahead and knock these handbrakes off. There we go, and there we go. All right, ace pole has been worked. So, I don't know. Do we have a cross? Do we have crossing back there? There might be one back there. I think we just walk right. It's on the shoulder of the highway. Maybe someone would be kind enough to give us a ride up there. That's a lot of cars to pick up. It sure is. A lot of cars for potentially an industry that could be worked every day, 5 days a week. And they go right by it. Like, they have to go to Rainier every day, so they go right by it. They could potentially work that place every day. I wouldn't think, unless they're like, you know what, we're not going to get ace pole today. We'll get it tomorrow. Like, maybe they skip a day. So then that'd be 2 or 3 cars per day. You know, then you got your 6 cars. So I guess that, like, that might be reasonable. Oh, lightning. A little bit of a storm here trying to blow up, right? Nice. All right, guys. Yeah, that's going to do it for this one. We're just going to leave off right here and pick up with one last video and take this thing to Waycross and yard it. And like I said, I think this is a perfect spot because Waycross is going to be involved because we'll go to Waycross, we'll swing the Y, we'll head down J1 towards Folkestone, and then they'll, you know, we'll line ourselves back into the receiving yard, and then we got to find a track that we could potentially back into that would hold us. There may not be one. Like, honestly, there may not be one that we could maybe this one, maybe that one. What's the length on these? Hit tab, mouse over it, hit tab. It brings up 84.95. 96. So could potentially do it. Let's do this real quick. Let's pull up train stats. Maybe it'll give us a link. 51. So that would almost it should technically fit in. If it's 51 and we've got 3,000, then that would be 81. It's 8,400, right? 8,495, almost 8,500 feet. So that one might be one that we could do, and this one is 87. Yeah, we're not going to fit in that at all. What is the other one? This one right here might be one we could go into. 64. Okay. 64. So this one should be 95. So 3. I don't know. So I think our best bet is to go to R1. Shove into R1. Plus we got a little room. Like we could shove it down a little further if we need to. So yeah, that's what we'll do. Last video, we'll come up here, we'll swing the Y, and we'll shove back into the yard, make it solid, cut our power off, and take it to the house. Anyway, love all of you guys. Thanks so much for watching. We also had a milestone the other day. We hit 9,000 subs, which blows my mind. If you told me way back in the day that when I started doing this, I'd have 9,000 subs, I would laugh. Absolutely would have laughed. Love all of you. Thank you so much for watching and being part of the channel and enjoying and supporting me. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe if you did enjoy this video. Leave me a comment just to say hello. Like hear from you guys, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.